Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I'm the inspirational Andy Murray from WhatCulture. And remember, I got more soul than a sock with a hole.
Coming up, I'm a certified G, but I'm going to tell you more about the Uso Penitentiary.
Like Tony Montana, Vince McMahon loves to push it to the limit, and it sounds like he rewrote Smackdown at the very last minute.
My favourite website is Pornhub. And I've got some massive news for you about AEW.
My favourite Pokemon is called Jigglypuff.
Yes!
But there won't be a match at SummerSlam for Zigglypuff.
This is the news.
Let's kick things off in this sweltering, scorching day here at WhatCulture HQ. Apparently, the chiller is broken. It's about 30 degrees. It's horrendous. Shoot season. It's
Hello
open.
to our American viewers.
Yeah, bye-bye. Shoot season, pew, 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 usual gimmicks.
Still open.
I'm way too melting to do the usual crap. Vince McMahon, he's been taking heavy shots at AEW. Well, kind of heavy shots. They're more kind of petty and gotten to, which, if you ask me, is even better.
Straight into the veins with this one.
Even better. So yesterday, WWE's latest set of financial reports came out, and when they do that, they do an earnings investor call thing with Vince, George Barrios, other people, Triple H sometimes, all kinds of folks. Press can tune in. They comment on the reports and the current situation with the company. And obviously a big current situation with WWE is that AEW's here, the competition, blah, blah, blah. So we had some things to say. At one point during the call, and I've got quotes and stuff here, he was basically talking about WWE programming becoming edgier, but they'll still be working within the confines of a PG environment. He says that there are zero plans to go back to the old Attitude Era or do blood and guts, though he speculated that their new competitor may resort to that. And then he said along here, he took kind of like a little bit of a shot at AEW after that, basically saying that, you know, our TNT, their new network, gonna put up with like violence and blood and guts and stuff. We've already seen, you know, Cody getting cracked with a chair. We've seen some other bloody matches and crazy spot fests. Well, crazy spots really in AEW. So, you know, a little bit under the radar, a little bit under the skin there, but it's clearly something that Vince is taking stock of, and it's actually quite a smart move for him to kind of plant these seeds of doubts in the network's mind, and potential investors.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not surprised in the slightest by this. Of course, the Q2 report was terrible, as we expected.
Wasn't good.
For WWE.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, they had the successes of the Saudi Arabia stuff and WrestleMania, but as we reported yesterday, overall, it's all going down, and AEW are the hot new kid on the block, basically. But yeah, he has already tried to distinguish himself away from AEW and showcase that they are a cut above, is the way I'd describe it.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to do, isn't it? We're the big leagues, they're the small leagues. We're going to take the high ground here by not having blood and guts and gore and all this stuff. Let's see how it pans out. Either way, I'm all for Vince shooting. More of it.
I love shoot season.
It's the best.
So WWE, of course, the better, nicer brand. Let's talk about one of their wrestlers who's got another DUI. Jimmy Uso, of course, was busted yesterday under that DUI. He's now been released after paying his bond. He's going to appear in court on August 15th. TMZ reported that Uso was swerving across the road before he was pulled over by a police officer and refused to take a DUI test on the scene, so was then arrested for a DUI and speeding. And WWE have finally released a statement on Jimmy Uso's DUI arrest. No great surprises here. They didn't really stray from the norm.
Standard.
All they've said is Jonathan Fatu is responsible for his own personal actions. What do you think is going to happen here? Because this is certainly not the first time for either of the Usos.
Yeah, precedent with the Usos and other people who've had similar situations in recent years suggests absolutely nothing. Suggests they'll be absolutely fine. This hasn't affected their push in the past, but seems like barely a quarter can go by without one of the Uso brothers getting arrested, unfortunately. This is his second DUI, I think, of the year. It's a very dangerous situation. Now, obviously, a lot of people have had a laugh about this because on Monday, John Cena, of course, was taking shots at them for DUIs and mugshots and so forth. But it's going to get to the point where someone's going to get hurt. Driving under the influence.
Stupid.
Another report came through suggesting he was like swerving around at 100 miles an hour. Whatever happens, I hope that no one ever gets hurt. I hope that Jimmy gets the help he needs, clearly, because this is becoming a repeat problem. And it's kind of gross to really take the mick and refer back to this.
Yeah, but as much as it's ironic that they had this segment on Monday and then he got pulled over for a DUI, look, at the end of the day, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
On the one hand, I do feel like I don't want them to be too badly punished because I think they're a phenomenal tag team. I think there's a really interesting story developing between them and the Revival as we head towards SummerSlam for the Raw Tag Team Championships. But on the other, I have no sympathy for anyone busted for drink driving.
Totally agree.
It is stupid. They've been with the WWE for so long now. You cannot tell me, no matter how high the prices are, that he couldn't have just got an Uber somewhere.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Just come on, guys.
Get it together. Speaking of getting it together, let's move on to this week's SmackDown. Good show.
Oh, great
really
show.
Good show. Very little wrong with it. Lots of good stuff. I've loved the Dolph Ziggler segment with Shawn Michaels and all that. The Kevin Owens at the end. Really good show. So it may come as something of a surprise to learn that this show was rewritten at the very last minute by Vince McMahon. It's a rare example of Vince coming in, scrapping the whole thing, putting a new one together, and it actually being really good. So Vince, this is according to Shagger Dave, Vince arrived at the building on the day of the show at 4 p.m, not long before the damn thing goes on air, decided that he didn't like a damn thing on the show and rewrote the whole thing. So that's why we didn't get Shawn Michaels on guest commentary, which was supposed to be a thing.
Oh, right.
We also didn't get Daniel Bryan's career-altering announcement, which was teased again.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, the whole thing was just chopped up, a new show was assembled, and to be honest, well, usually these things are a source of criticism. The show was really good, so I don't care.
It may be recency bias, but it might be one of my favourite SmackDown shows of the year. I thought every segment made sense and served a purpose. And normally when we're, 2-3 weeks away from SummerSlam, they're just spinning the wheels.
Yeah.
But they established stuff. They had that great stuff with Kofi and Orton. Just some great stuff in there. I do like the irony of the fact that on the investors call, Vince also said, yeah, now I've got Heyman and Bischoff, I can sort of get out of the weeds a little bit. And he turns up at 4 p.m. and goes, right, we're starting again, everyone. But for once, good. Let's not make this a habit, though.
Absolutely.
Right, CM Punk is definitely going to be wrestling at AEW All Out.
Confirmed.
Possibly. Let's pump the brakes a little bit here. This is a report that, CM Punk has been speaking about signing for AEW, and the quote here is, I've talked to them. He's being interviewed, and he was talking about StarCast, of course, where he is going to be appearing, hence why Colt Cabana was saying, do you mind if I move days? Because... anyway, he said, they asked me if I wanted to do StarCast. That's basically it. He said he hated travelling, but because, of course, it's in Chicago, it would make sense. And then when he asked about his relationship with AEW, or whether he had one indeed, he said, no. They like to talk about me a lot. If there's an expectation that he's going to appear at All Out, it's purely built by them. And he concluded by saying, texting offers isn't really a good way to do business, according to him.
Yeah.
So it's all a bit up in the air. I sense, CM Punk knows exactly what he's doing. If he is going to be appearing at All Out, he's not going to be like, yeah, I'll see you there.
I'll be there. Yeah, I'll see you there.
Interesting this, that the comments, aside from the final one, makes it seem like he's just, he's a private contractor that they've brought in to appear at StarCast. But he seems a little bit pissed off with that whole contract over a text thing.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff here. Something that does give me pause is that, he sounds obviously quite annoyed about that, and he's a bristly fellow,
yes.
So of course he does. But Hangman Page actually tweeted not long after that quote came out, saying something similar, like, hey, Matt Jackson, that idea you offered me for being the elite was cool and all, but text messages isn't a good place to do deals. Pretty much the exact same thing. So that, to me, suggests that CM Punk's playing the game here, and he is a former professional wrestler, so he's going to do that from time to time. Either way, it's actually a really good interview with ESPN. There's some really good stuff talking about expectation versus reality with regards to his return. If you want to check that out, I would absolutely recommend doing so. It's linked on our website, in fact, by the relevant news story. But yeah, Chick Magnet Phil's not going to come out and go, yeah, boys, I'm going to beat it out loud. Yeah, ruin the surprise. Woo. So, yeah.
Do you think he's going to be there? I think so.
I hope so. Yeah, why not? Cool. Yeah, it's definitely happening. Speaking of things that are definitely happening, Dolph Ziggler versus Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam is definitely not happening. This week's SmackDown, obviously, big tease in that Miz TV segment. He aimed a super kick at The Miz, ended up KOing Shawn Michaels with a beautiful sell from HBK.
Yeah.
Coming out of that segment, theoretically, he could have faced Miz at SummerSlam, or he could have faced Michaels at SummerSlam. But according to the Sultan of Shagging, that's even better, Dave Meltzer in the Observer newsletter tells us, apparently, that there is nothing in the works for Ziggler at SummerSlam. So why the hell were they doing these segments?
I don't know.
Weird.
It
Weird
did
stuff.
seem really weird. I was speculating after after Monday Night Raw that we may eventually see an AJ Styles Shawn Michaels match because they were jaw-jacking. I think that's some of the WrestleMania. But then this, added more fuel to the. I assumed, this will just be the Miz defending the honour of Shawn Michaels by facing Ziggler in probably a pre-show match. But nothing at the moment.
No.
I think that might change when they gauge the reaction because a lot of people got very excited about that. And even if you just had, I don't know, Miz versus Dolph Ziggler with Shawn Michaels as a special guest referee, I think that could do.
That'd be fine as well. Yeah, can we get George involved somehow?
Oh yeah.
Legend.
Let us know your thoughts on that in the comment section below, though. And let's move on to your Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE if you want to get in touch. Me the 6, you the 9 says, thank you for bestowing upon me legend status.
Legend.
You guys rock. He says, question, Survivor Series the past few years has been a joke with no legit storylines. What about Brand Warfare? Red versus Blue? He said, should WWE keep it or alter its main match? Personally, I'd love a yearly Deadly Games format.
Oh, that'd be really cool. I enjoyed last year's SummerSlam Survivor Series pay-per-view. I thought it was really good fun. Though there was certainly a lack of storylines going into it, but by the time we emerged from the end of the evening, I was very happy with the action in the matches. It could definitely do with a little bit of freshening up, but I wouldn't scrap it completely. I really like the elimination style. Brand Warfare is boring and predictable, though, and especially now that the wildcard rule, if that even still exists as a thing, it's pretty redundant. I would just rather see factions, Shane McMahon and his army of goobers versus Roman Reigns and the Great Men, something like that. That Roman Reigns and us, that'd be good.
Yeah, I'd like to see something like that. I think, just generically having people who last week hated each other, but now go, hey, we both wear blue.
Yeah.
Let's just do that.
I got a t-shirt now.
Yeah, no, none of that. But Team X versus Team Y is far, far better.
Classic
and
stuff.
Gives more scope for heel turns and what have you in the match that would make more sense anyway. Angela Dawn, a regular contributor
Legend.
as well, says, do you think the fans will eventually turn on Seth Rollins due to his over-the-top promos, his championship booking, and his recent expressive social media posts?
You know what? Normally, if you look at what's happened and how things have gone since WrestleMania and the way he's been presented, I would say yes, but he's still really over, isn't he?
Is he? Yeah.
Burn It Down gets a massive roar back at him every time, and the material's not been good, but because I think he's been such a favourite of so many people that they're maybe willing to give him a little more leeway. That being said, anyone can be turned against at some point, so while normally, yes, I think it would have happened by now, I think that Seth's probably got a little bit more left in the tank.
I'm inclined to agree with that. I was going to say, judging by the WhatCulture offers, and especially someone like Adam Nicholas, who was a devout Seth Rollins follower for so long, because I've seen his faith in him fade and fade and fade away. I think the key thing here is he has to have a really good SummerSlam match with Brock,
a banger.
and that would re-establish everything. If it goes the opposite way, I'd be concerned.
100%.
Final question today comes from N8Fell, Nate Fell, I'm going to go with.
Legend.
Who says, with AEW using the big indie names to fill their roster, does that hurt them in the long run when it comes to talent development?
Not necessarily, I don't think, because these are the names that can be groomed and developed into bigger stars along the line. MJF, if handled correctly and if AEW catches on, could be one of the biggest stars in wrestling a year or so down the line because he's so goddamn charismatic. A lot of these people are works in progress and they do need a little bit of work. The thing that concerns me about AEW is that I do think they need maybe one or two more big names.
Yeah.
How the hell they get hold of those, I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
One of them is going to be at StarCast and comes from Chicago, so...
Chick Magnet Phil.
Who knows?
Oh, Colt Cabana.
I'd love Colt.
I love Colt as well,
Get
man.
Colt in.
Get him back in.
Nice guy, friend of the channel.
I'm going to swerve you today, Mr. Adam Wilborn, and finally, I've got it covered for once.
Oh, wow.
Which, it's a catastrophe of a thing, this. So basically, I was surfing around the internet this morning, looking for news, sniffing it out like some kind of sweaty, bald sniff dog. Reddit Squared Circle, regular source of premium rate banter and bad wrestling takes. I've come up with a series of adverts.
Oh, good.
They're hoaxes, of course.
Right.
But you could believe these things are real. They are WWE's anti-masturbation posters. So, look at these bad boys. We'll start here.
These aren't real or are real?
I mean, they're...
Oh, I realise.
Yeah, they're not real. Here's Dusty Rhodes. Don't be silly. Don't play with your willy.
Very
good picture of these get better and better, by the way.
Who's the next
Jake
up?
the Snake Roberts.
Right, okay. Let me try to work this out. This has got to be some sort of snake-based pun.
It kind of.
What's he saying?
The only snake I mess with is Damien. Stop wanking.
Stop wanking.
I've got
big
3
lad.
more. Do you think you can handle
I
them?
don't think so, but we're going to go anyway.
Scott's on it. Hulk Hogan, be a champ, not a chump.
Yep.
Leave that bone alone. Right? Not bad. Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh.
Unless you're peeing or washing, don't touch that junk. Tough guy. Not so good there, but the picture kind of makes it. doesn't it?
Okay.
And the last one, which might be my favourite of all, Miss Elizabeth. The lovely Miss
careful
Elizabeth.
now.
Keep it clean. Don't flick that peen.
I'm sweating so much right now. More of that. More of them, please. With the current roster.
I love the internet sometimes.
I'm going to just lie to myself and tell you that's real.
This is a PG product.
Produced by Vince. Right, Miss Elizabeth, what we want you to say here is, anyway, right, let us know your thoughts on that and all of today's news stories in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and send us Twitter questions on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE, where you can follow both of us. You can follow Andy Murray at
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for Horatio from CSI Miami. Yeah, glasses. The Who.
You can follow me at Adam Wilborn. Wow! You can follow us all at WhatCultureWWE. And make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. My thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.
Stop wanking.